Let's get ready to do this. We'll show that creep the real superpower of teamwork.
To say that Sonic Heroes was the start of the dark age of Sonic is actually unfair because Sonic Heroes is the opposite of dark. I mean, sure, we have a literal team in the game that's called Team Dark, but I think it's a fairly light-hearted game and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I think that's what Sonic should be. It should be leaving you all warm and fuzzy in your tum-tum and feeling good. And I think Sonic Heroes does quite well at this. It may have gotten mixed reviews and there's people out there who hate this game, but I think it's a good game but also flawed. And I thought I'd dive in and talk about what I liked and what I didn't like about the game. So here we go. If I could describe Sonic Heroes in one word, that word would be teamwork. Because that's really the theme of this game. If it could be called Sonic Teams or Sonic Teamwork, then it probably would be, but it wouldn't sound as cool as Sonic Heroes, let's be honest with ourselves. It's not one of those desperate, edgy, unnecessarily dark messes trying to attract old players. Nor is it a colorful rainbow, wow, look at me, I'm so hip and cool, trying to attract young people explosions, you know? Sonic Heroes is for everyone, and it has something that caters to everyone. Sonic Heroes was the first Sonic game that I ever owned. It wasn't the start of my fandom, as I'd already played Sonic 1, 2 and 3 before and watched the cartoons as well prior to buying this game. But I would say that it definitely played the biggest role in me being a Sonic fan. Growing up, I loved playing this game and I still actually love playing this game right now to this day. It honestly holds up quite well for me against the more modern Sonic games. Visually, I think it looks quite good for a game made nearly 20 years ago. The character models look superb and the color scheme of the entire game is used effectively. It's not screaming at you by needlessly throwing multiple different colors and lightings in your face constantly. But at the same time, everything is strong and eye-catching. I do feel like they didn't try that hard with the enemies, though they still look fine. I'll talk more about level design when discussing the story, but I think each level has a unique design and feel, as well as some good soundtracks that helps establish them quite strongly. And it makes them all memorable in their own way. The gameplay can be a bit hit or miss sometimes, as you might find the characters to be a bit slippery or too fast to control. Or maybe there's instances where the camera is a bit faulty and the game is a bit clunky. Some people also criticize the lack of depth with character movesets, but honestly that doesn't bother me at all because it's basic and easy to learn and it doesn't get repetitive because you're constantly switching between characters all the time. I think it works well with the pacing of the levels. Maybe they could have done a little bit more, but I'm not complaining that they didn't. Going back to teamwork, which is something you hear quite a bit about in this video, the game has 12 playable characters divided into 4 teams of 3. You have Team Sonic, which is Sonic the Hedgehog, Miles Tails Prower, and Knuckles the Echidna. Team Dark with Shadow the Hedgehog, Rouge the Bat, and E123 Omega. Team Chaotix with Espio the Chameleon, Vector the Crocodile, and Charmy the Bee. And Team Rose with Amy Rose, Big the Cat, and Cream the Rabbit. The core gameplay revolves around 3 main mechanics or formations, that being Fly, Power, and Speed. The power characters, that being Knuckles, Omega, and Vector, and Big, are the juggernauts of your team, and they can pretty much just plow through any enemies or any obstacles with their attacks. Fly characters, that being Rouge, Tails, Charmy, and Cream, are there to help you get to those hard to reach areas in the levels, as well as keep you from falling off the level and dealing with flying enemies as well. The speed characters being Sonic, Shadow, Espio, and Amy are what you'd expect from a Sonic game. High speed and fast paced movement, getting to the goal as quickly as possible with homing attacks and all that biz. Each individual character can level up to 3 times per stage and become more powerful. With the characters more or less having the same movesets and controls, there are differences between them. For example, the different attack patterns and combos of the power characters. Sonic and Shadow also move faster than the other 2-speed characters, but Espio and Amy have additional attacks and abilities, with Amy being the weakest since she can't triangle jump, so I guess that kind of makes it okay. Each team also gets a special meter that when full will allow them to unleash a devastating Team Blast attack, attacking all enemies in the area. Depending on which team you use, each Team Blast will have an additional ability, like leveling up your characters, temporary invincibility, getting bonus rings, or even freezing time. Let's move on to the story mode. Each team has their own story mode. The story mode consists of 14 stages across 7 different zones. Each zone is separated by a boss fight, and there are keys in each stage that will give you access to a special stage after, as long as you don't get hit and drop the key. This is what I meant when I said the game kind of caters to everyone. Each team will play through the same exact stages, but the circumstances will be different depending on which team you pick. If you're a beginner or you want an easy playthrough of the game with shorter stages, or maybe you're a girl and into girly things, then Team Rose is probably for you. If you want the most thrilling, most exciting experience and you're interested in the main characters of the game, then Team Sonic is the one for you. Team Dark is for people who like their anti-heroes, and it offers a more challenging experience with the stages actually being a tad longer and adding more obstacles and enemies. Team Chaotix offers a unique mission style of play. Basically, each stage isn't like the other teams, where they just have to get to the gold ring. These stages all offer different challenges, ranging from collecting a certain amount of rings, defeating certain amounts of enemies, rescuing Chao, and much more. Each team has their own motivations and reasons for taking part in the story. For Team Sonic, it's just business as usual. Dr. Eggman challenges them to stop him before he conquers the world, and they set out to do just that. Team Rose are after Sonic and Eggman because Chocola Chao and Froggy have been kidnapped by what appears to be Sonic, and they figure out that if they find one of them, then the other may not be far behind. Team Chaotix are a broke detective agency in desperate need of work to pay for their rent, so they start working for a mysterious client who communicates with them through a radio, gives them missions. Team Dark, which is my favorite team, as Rouge sets out to find Eggman's secret treasure. So, she convinces Shadow and Omega to team up with her since they want Eggman as well. Shadow, after his apparent death and fall in Sonic Adventure 2, has survived but doesn't remember anything and was in Eggman's base for some reason, and Omega is upset with Eggman for shutting him down and keeping him locked away. So each team sets out on their journey. It's cool to see that each team gets their own theme song as well, with Team Dark's This Machine being one of my absolute favorite songs in all of gaming. I'm not gonna go through every stage, but just some of my highlights and lowlights. I thought Seaside Hill was a really fun opening level. It does a good job at introducing us to the game. Ocean Palace is also one of my personal favorites, and I love that set piece at the end where you have to outrun those giant boulders. I love the Casino Park and Bingo Highway stages. Even though they didn't make that much sense with the story, I had a blast playing them and I felt powerful winning so many rings in those games. I hated the Rail Canyon zone because most of it was just grinding on rails and accidentally falling off or missing the rails, and the Haunted Mansion missions are actually some of the most frustrating stages for me. I hated that damn bomb sled mechanic with a passion. It's basically your team controlling a go-kart and you have to control and dodge and move, and you can't see the obstacles properly. The final zone felt really epic and had a conclusive feeling to it, with a lot of high drama and action. It felt good to play. Each level soundtrack really sets the tone and mood perfectly of the stages though. The boss battles are fine, I guess. I don't really have much to say. I think they're a bit too easy except for maybe the Egg Emperor at the end. I hate the team battles, they're a bit too easy to win. Like you can just spam a tornado attack until you win. And the Robot Carnival stages are actually really fun. It's just smashing up a bunch of robots, but it feels so satisfying. Okay, so you finish playing through a story with your favorite team. You sit through the credits till the end and you're like, what now? Well, the game just straight up tells you, try another one. And you might be thinking, I just finished the story, why would I want to play it again with another team? Or maybe you're thinking, maybe this game is trying to tell me something. So you eventually play through all 4 team story modes, and then you unlock the last story. Let me tell you something. It was so satisfying as a kid, where I'd play certain Sonic games and I'd play through every section of every story to unlock the last story. It felt so rewarding, like the game was rewarding you with this hidden true ending for completing everything. I think that's a nice touch, but it wouldn't be as effective now with the internet. Okay, so you finish all 4 team stories and then it tells you to find 7 Chaos Emeralds. You can do this by finding a key in every second stage, and it'll give you access to a special stage Emerald Challenge. Be very careful though, because if you get hit while holding the key, you'll drop it. Once you clear all the Emerald Challenges, you will get the 7 Chaos Emeralds and you will unlock the last story of the game, which confirms the true villain of this game. Okay, so I purposefully didn't talk about this earlier in the video because I wanted to save it for this section of the video. Throughout the team stories, you battle Dr. Eggman on multiple occasions, only for him to turn out to be a fake. Even Tails remarks at one point that it isn't even an Eggman robot either. It's revealed to us that Metal Sonic was actually the one pulling the strings all this time. He locked Dr. Eggman away and took over his army, which led to Eggman hiring Team Chaotix to rescue him. Metal Sonic had also been copying data throughout the story to power himself up even further. He copies the data of the entire Team Sonic, as well as Chaos through Chocola Chow and Froggy. He then gets lucky enough to even come across Shadow the Hedgehog, who is the ultimate life form, and doesn't miss the chance to copy his data as well. So he actually becomes way stronger than he intended to. So Eggman tells Team Chaotix who locked him up, and then everyone gathers to witness Metal Sonic transform. Eggman talks about how if only we had the 7 Chaos Emeralds, then maybe we'd have a small chance, and then everyone just conveniently reveals that we have all 7. Then Shadow volunteers to hold off Metal Sonic, which I think is a nice touch, and then everyone joins him in doing so while Sonic gets ready to transform into Super Sonic. But then Knuckles and Tails decide to go along with him, so they get a superpower but not an actual super form, which is kind of weird because Super Sonic and Super Knuckles and Super Tails all exist. But anyways, Metal Sonic transforms, but the transformation isn't yet complete, so this incomplete form is called Metal Madness. We then play as the other 3 teams and they take turns fending off Metal Madness. There's a point where he mocks Shadow, even stating that the ultimate life form isn't enough to stop him, which I think is capped because Shadow would have probably smoked him in his super form, but I digress. So Metal Sonic and Team Sonic both complete their transformations and the final battle is about to begin. So it's the final battle, Team Super Sonic vs Metal Overlord, with Crush 40's What I'm Made Of playing for this fight. And this is just the ultimate hype. It's one of the best Sonic songs ever and it captures the perfect tone for this fight. And you're probably thinking that this is supposed to be an epic struggle between the ultimate good and the ultimate evil, but nah man, Sonic is just like, you know what, you can get as many power-ups as you want, you can copy as many people as you want, you can do whatever you want, I'ma still beat the shit out of you. And that's basically the message of this song too. But it actually works because we as an audience see Metal Sonic as the threat, and it's almost like the character of Sonic is projecting his confidence onto the player, which is really cool, and you feel the plot armor coming through the TV as you can just lose yourself for a bit and beat the bad guy and save the day at the end. So the actual fight is a bit of a mixed bag. I usually just stayed as Sonic as I didn't really have a need to switch to the other teammates, and I was just plowing through his Crystal Blast until my Team Blast gauge filled up, and I repeated this process. This boss could only be damaged by Team Blast, which I think is a good way of reinforcing the main idea of this game. So after you hit enough Team Blasts, Metal Overlord will be defeated, and that's the final boss of this game. I feel kind of bad for Metal Sonic though, because in his warped mind he believes that he's the real Sonic. He even called our Sonic his quote-unquote loathsome copy, and he tried so hard just to get bullied by everyone. Anyways, Sonic tells him that he's open to a rematch anytime. Amy chases after Sonic because she's in love with him. Rouge teases going after the Master Emerald, so Knuckles goes after her. Eggman tries to get away before paying the Chaotix detectives, so they chase after him. And Shadow and Omega are left with Metal Sonic's unconscious body as we fade away to Team Sonic on their next adventure. And that's game. Sonic Heroes is not the adventure games, nor does it play like the adventure games. It doesn't have complex gameplay or a darker tone of storytelling either, but that does not make it a bad game. Sonic Heroes is a really fun experience. It isn't perfect, but it's really enjoyable, and the hate that it gets is mostly unnecessary. The main themes of this game being the power of teamwork and friendship and all that is perfect for a Sonic game. The idea of them dropping out Metal Sonic may seem like character assassination, but it fits perfect with the theme of this game. Nobody was really afraid of him because they all had their friends by their side to make them stronger and to keep them from losing their confidence. That's completely fine. It's uplifting and it translates to a real life because you feel like you're a part of these teams too. And these kind of messages are important for kids, which is when I think Sonic is at its best, when it touches young kids' lives and leaves an impact on them. That's why I think light-hearted Sonic is the best Sonic, because it isn't really hard to do with all of these charming characters and this world, and Sonic Heroes is one of my favorite Sonic games out there. Thanks for watching. Subscribe.